Who would have thought?
Not me.
Not me.
We're so back.
We're so back, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you remember the person who was like, I was wondering why you guys weren't drinking?
It is a little bit of a tell. I saw someone who said they're a barista said that pregnant women always tell them that they're pregnant. Like, they're like, can I get a decaf because I'm pregnant?
It's probably like how when you order a mocktail, you're like, because I'm in recovery. Like, don't you mess this up. You're going to kill me and my unborn.
You're right. I didn't even think about that aspect of it. Damn, that was very childless of me to be like, no one cares about you. You're a fucking baby. Just take your decaf coffee and go.
I mean, I did drink caffeine, but that is a debated topic in the pregnancy world. Anyways, welcome. So tell me everything about what you're going through right now.
Okay, so it's just so annoying. I forgot how annoying it is. This is also like kind of low-key my first time doing it.
Oh, we didn't announce the topic.
Oh, right. Today we're talking about testing.
Yes.
Today we're talking about the test that we give the kids from Uncle Sam to see what those kids don't know.
Period. Continue.
So this is low-key my first time really like doing the damn thing because like my first year teaching COVID happened, and then my second year teaching the test didn't count, and then my third year teaching I quit in February. So I've really never experienced this before, which I just realized now in this moment, which explains why I was like, why do I literally want to jump out the window? And one of the classes I teach is a semester long, so they did standardized test last December, but it was just one class, so it wasn't as bad. Now I teach 3 classes. 2 of them are AP and 1 is regular. So I also have to have like 2 different tests in my brain. Like, it's really hard to review with 2 slightly different curriculums because they're just slightly different. And so like it's just a lot is going on up there. And my main issue with it, which I feel like you'll feel this same way, I hate how it disrupts the routine. Like, we've been on an adjusted schedule that changes every single day for a week. And this is like no shade to my admin. We're actually super organized compared to my old school. It's like actually shocking. Shout out to y'all for that one. But we're on like a different schedule for a full week. They're using my room for testing. So I have been like floating a lot this week. And just not having my things and my normal routine, and having like this one class period is 3 hours. And then with the next class, you only get 45 minutes with them. And again, like, this is out of all of our control. So I think it's being handled well. But it's just terrible. I feel like I'm in a torture chamber.
Absolutely. The disruption of routine is my kiss of death. I cannot. I like my comforts too. I like my pens. I like my keyboard, you know?
Exactly. This was just kind of like stars aligning against me. I also coincidentally have morning duty right now. So it's like...
Still?
Yeah, we do it on like a rotation thing, and not every teacher has morning duty because it depends when your planning period is. So like if your planning period is around lunchtime, you never ever have morning duty, but you have lunch duty. Like, it depends when you're at. So it's a longer stint than you would expect.
Yeah, I see that. We rotated recess duty, so.
It's just like, can I just live? Like, can I give my little PowerPoint, play my little game, and we do our little worksheets? That's what we do every day, and we're really reliant on that.
You had a really good thing going, and they really fucked it up for you.
And it wasn't even they being like anyone I know, so I can't even be mad because everyone at my school's miserable too because they're dealing with the same thing.
The man.
It's the government, you guys.
Capital T, capital M, the man. Fuck them. Let's read about it. So we asked you about this because we haven't gotten submissions in a while.
We love a submission moment.
Would you like to read first? Or?
Yeah. Okay. While testing my 5th graders this week, one specific student fell asleep 3 times.
That was me during my AP bio exam.
I like after the 3rd and 4th time I wake a kid up, I start to feel weird. Like, I feel inappropriate. Like,
sometimes you just got sleepy. You're tired.
Oh, this one actually is like an advice one. They said test anxiety advice, have to take the GRE to get into grad school. Do you have test anxiety?
No, I have every other kind.
I used to have test anxiety, but then I cured it.
I think I have the opposite problem, though, is where I don't give a fuck about a test. I like released myself from that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't claim that as something that defines me. Like, I don't have any investment in it, so I don't feel anxiety around it, which is another problem.
Yeah. I didn't know it was test anxiety. I actually don't even think it's test anxiety per se. But in like middle and early high school, I had terrible anxiety just in general. And most of it was centered around like school performance. So it was Like I had anxiety about classwork too. And I didn't realize that when I was studying, I wasn't actually studying. I was just like hyping myself up to be anxious and not actually studying. I would like hype myself up for like hours every night. So I was like getting terrible grades. So then like later high school, college, I was like, I don't give a fuck anymore. Like I'm so miserable. If I fail, I fail. And then I started getting all A's.
Okay, so you like released yourself from it too.
But then I like circled back around because then I had to take the SAT and I failed again and I couldn't figure that out. And then I had a tutor that taught me how to study. So now, like, I do take tests seriously and I probably do put too much weight on it for, like, my worth as a person. But it's nice because now I do fucking awesome on it because someone really smart taught me, like, how to look at a test, break it down, and, like, learn how to be successful on it. And I think that that is such an important skill that's so hard to teach.
No, but that's so real. Like, learning how to take multiple choice tests really helped me. Like, I definitely am a person who's like crossing shit out and like,
yeah. And like I'm struggling with how to teach my students this because it took me so long to learn it. But like I feel like it's kind of in the same way as like learning a language or learning to code. Like you just read it differently and it's so hard to teach it.
like when it's like a true or false question and it's like always or never, they say like that's usually not true.
And like I was trying to explain this today about how like, so we were breaking down a multiple choice question. And of the 4 answers, 3 of them were domestic things and only 1 was international. So I was like, even if you don't know, you should pick the international one because the other 3 answers are really similar.
So play Connections by the New York Times. That mini game is really going to help you. Have you played that game?
No, I'm very like, if I don't pick up on a new thing within like the first 3 days, I'm like, oh, missed it. So I've never played Wordle. I don't.
Oh my gosh. I
hope y'all are having fun with that. Good luck.
I feel like as a former kindergarten teacher, Wordle was really in my wheelhouse because I know like, okay, these letters go together a lot of the times because I taught phonics.
Yeah.
But I mean, the test anxiety thing, I think it started, I just like smash cut back into this conversation. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I good. No, that's
okay.
perfect.
Amazing.
I was literally about to do the same thing.
Perfect. I think it started with those fucking multiple choice tests that were 1 minute and you had to like through the whole thing.
Oh, where it would be like you're adding.
Yeah.
And they like set a timer.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I couldn't do it. And I never got my little car on the bulletin board to like move to the next level.
Aww.
So I just gave up. I was like, well, I don't claim that.
You were like,
I don't own that.
That has nothing to do with me. I hope you are having fun.
Yeah, that's none of my business.
I'll be over here.
I still have a car. It's just not
You're
moved.
like, some cars are safer at home.
Yeah, because one thing about me is if I'm feeling like I'm going to fail at something, I'm not going to do it.
I'm the same way.
I wouldn't even swipe right on my husband because I thought he was too hot for me.
How did you get it?
Did I tell you the story?
No. How did you go over this?
Well, okay, so
I'm assuming, you're married now, so.
Yeah, it worked out. Well, a couple things were happening. Every time I would download Bumble, literally I was downloading and deleting this app because I had business elsewhere like multiple times.
I hate Bumble.
I mean, it worked for me, but we actually should bleep their name because they haven't given us a deal on this podcast repeatedly. I've applied repeatedly. Anyways, every time I would download it, his profile would be first. And one of my now best friend's weddings, he was a groomsman, and the picture was him in that wedding, and it looked like a stock photo. So I just never thought that that was like a real person. Also, I'd be like, I don't like games that I can't win, but I had then had some drinks and was like, you know what? This is fun. I'm going to swipe right and see what happens. I ended up swiping right on him 3 times and deleting the app after twice. But what happens when you deleted Bumble, at least back then, was your account stayed active. You just didn't have the app. So I thought no harm, no foul. You
thought that you would just like disappear.
That I would like repeatedly match him and let him expire. So the last time he swiped right on me, he was like, this is the last time I'm swiping right on this girl because she has repeatedly let my match expire. And that was the time that I was like, hey. And he literally would be like, no, you probably said something really clever. I screenshotted it. I literally said, hey.
Incredible. No notes.
Yeah. So anyways, but I don't like games that I can't win. So the multiplication table thing destroyed me for test taking forever.
I hate competitive things. That doesn't bother me because the other kids didn't see how you did as much. I don't remember any trauma around that. I remember always being like very middle of the road with those. Like I was never like doing the worst, but I never like won anything.
But that's interesting because I feel like other teachers don't see your data, but you're very competitive about your test scores of your students and your data at work.
At my old school, other teachers did see your data.
Oh, they did? How did they see it?
They would literally show you a comparison chart against each other.
Oh, we did that too. I forgot I'd blocked that
So
out.
at my new school, they don't show your data, but like if a teacher has a lot of kids that score proficient, they like shout out the teachers that had the most number of kids score proficient. But I think also the reason I don't feel competitive about it now is because I'm the only person teaching the AP US class. So I'm not competing against anyone. And then for the regular ed class, I'm never going to have as many proficient students as the other teacher because that's her full schedule. So I just like...
Do you feel like you don't put that pressure on yourself as much now, or do you still do it?
I think it's a combination of myself and the environment. I think like I've kind of changed my thinking around testing, and it's not pushed on me the way that it used to be. My old school, it was like, looking back, it's actually so unhealthy and insane how much they pushed data on us, and it was really the only thing they cared about at all. And at my new school, they care about data, but they care about a lot of other stuff too. So not in like a bad way where they expect too many things, but like it's not something that's on my mind all day every day. And because I'm not being compared to anyone, the one thing I am competitive with is I like to see growth. Like I really hated that they did worse on unit 3 than unit 2, you know?
Yeah, you're one of one. You're competing against yourself. Beyonce taught you well.
So I don't know if we have any test anxiety advice for these people. We kind of forgot to answer their question.
I don't, but you know what, you guys? Can you leave some comments on the YouTubes or something and give this person advice? I have test
anxiety advice that's pretty specific only to the GRE. The GRE, you can take it as many times as you want, so like don't worry about it. Just like go in calm, because if you do bad, like you only send your highest scores in. So if you do bad, just like move on and pretend that never happened and like try again next time.
That's really good advice. I feel like you know everything.
It's because a lot of my students have been like crying about the SAT, and I'm giving them the same thing. I'm like, yeah, when we take a test in class, it's kind of like one and done. But I told them, I was like, you can do terrible on the SAT and literally just hit delete and like never look at it ever again and just study more the next time.
That's really good advice. Yes. Doesn't define you.
This is a good one.
Okay.
A proctor's phone dinged and the entire school had to do a redo.
Oh no. Can you imagine being that person?
You have to quit. Like I'm so sorry. I would quit. Like I can't do this anymore. I'm sorry.
Do you remember the principal that we read the stories about the parties, and she like got super sloppy and had to be carried out, and she didn't show up to work for a month? Yes. I feel like that is literally on the same plane as my phone dinging and discrediting the entire school. Though, wait, but why the whole school? Were they all doing it in the cafeteria?
I don't know. I was about to say either that, or maybe what I could think is like, I know some places are really intense about no phones can be in the room and the administrators have to check. So maybe it was because like they became concerned about non-compliance, so they just wanted to redo it. You get what I'm saying? Like, because my school is like, I guess it's the state rules, not my school. They're very strict on no phones, but they all go in like a bin that's in the room. But I know some places they can't be in the room.
Wow. Somebody posted on TikTok that they felt like they were going to go to prison if they fucked up the state test. And like,
I told my class that, and a few of them believed me. I was like, yeah, it's a state test and I'm a state employee, so I can go to state prison. And they were like, oh my God. And I was like, so don't bring your phones.
I feel like it was in the comment section of somebody who got the test for his class like not discredited, I don't know what it's called, thrown out.
I think they call it different things in different places. Mm-hmm. This is another good one. I've never thought about this. This is such like a gen ed high school teacher that I've never thought about this. Putting all of the emotional disturbance kids together in one room for testing. Because you know how they have like the accommodation room.
Yes.
It's smaller and they get extended time.
You know that an administrator came up with that somewhere and thought that was a great idea. Like, oh, well, they'll all need the same things because they all have the same diagnosis.
Like, they need to be as far away from each other as humanly possible, please.
It's like when a firework goes off in a box of other fireworks.
Like, I'm just imagining the chain reactions of things that happen.
I feel like I'm I'm in the room with you.
And plus, like, they're all out of their routine. They're in a different
Yeah.
location. They don't have the support that they're used to. And now they're all together
Jesus.
doing a task that is not only intimidating, but also boring.
Yeah, and high stakes.
Winning combo.
Oh my God.
A lot of people talking about how bored they are.
I didn't realize that when you're giving a test like that you have to like basically just watch paint dry. Like you can't technically do anything.
I was supposed to do it this year, but then something happened and they had to change the schedule, so now I'm not. But I was going to bring a book with me. Is that allowed?
I don't know. The first year I was supposed to do it was COVID. The second year I was supposed to do it was 2021, and I don't think we did it at all. And then the last year I was supposed to do it, I had a baby.
Good for you, man. I've done it a lot of times.
I did the beginning of the year one and like the mid-year one.
Yeah. In Florida, they have to take the FSA to graduate, so we administered it a couple times a year. So I know I said earlier this is my first time doing standardized testing. This is my first time where my students are doing standardized testing. Tie my hands behind my back and blindfold me, and I could administer the math portion of the FSA.
It's a nice party trick. You can just whip that out,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I don't even think they do the FSA anymore, so like kind of not a great resume builder as it used to be. This is insane as hell. This woman said, we never get a warning that testing is ending in 5 or 10 minutes. They just get on the intercom and announce it's over. That's crazy. Every time I've done it, the script has been like, give a 30-minute warning, give a 15-minute warning.
Is
like,
that allowed?
That is Hunger Games, that someone's just like, and you're done.
And then all of your kids, you have to run around the room and yank their
And
pencils.
slam the laptop shut. You're
Yeah.
done. You're done. I have done that when I caught a kid cheating.
I mean, that's a good life lesson.
I opened the study guide and saw his little Google emoji on there, and I literally ran over and slammed his laptop shut. And I was like, you're done. It's submitted.
You would love Go Guardian. You would love
I
it.
would. I want Go Guardian so bad.
You can chat them. You can like type.
You can control their screen, can't you?
Yep. But I loved towards the end of the school year when the kindergartners could read, I loved typing to them and being like, hi, what are you doing? And they were like on YouTube watching Minecraft videos or just locking the whole thing so they have to come to me. And I'll be like, what?
I need it. Can I Go Guardian? Can I buy it just for me? I hate when education tech companies are like I hit like contact sales and it's like, how many teachers at your school? Nah, bitch, I'm flying solo right now. I want the Go Guardian.
We should email them.
I don't have time to go through the chain of command and this bureaucratic bullshit. Can I just like give you $50 or something?
Yes. I'll be a Go Guardian influencer.
Literally. Oh, this is interesting. Apparently, Texas is going to start using AI to grade written answers this year.
Damn robots. They're everywhere. They are everywhere.
Immediately no. That's spooky. I do not like that. So this is a sentence I never thought I would read in my life. Trigger warning on literally everything. I don't know what this is. I'm going to Google it. They said MCAS, but I don't know what that is. Oh, Massachusetts Comprehensive Assessment System. So the standardized test in Massachusetts had a question where students had to take the perspective of a slave owner and write a narrative from that perspective. Can I just say, I did not see that coming from Massachusetts. Have you told me that was Oklahoma, I would have believed you immediately. I would have thought, like, you have Harvard there and someone still managed this to get through the cracks? What is this?
What is wrong? Like, it is 2024. To be that ignorant, you have to have tried.
They didn't say when this was, but
Okay.
I know who this person is, and it couldn't have been that long ago.
So that was a standardized test question?
I think so, yeah.
Oh my Jesus.
It said the acronym was for assessment system, so maybe it was a practice question or something, but it was in there.
That's crazy to come from the state. That's not just like some random teacher going rogue. Oh my God. Emetophobia warning.
I had a kid throw up in his sleep, and they made us stay in the room. His whole computer was covered, same with the floor, and they took 5 minutes to clean, and it still smelled, and they made us go in and finish the test.
I have one that says, my best friend has a kid who threw up on his Chromebook in her first year of teaching.
Yikes.
Maybe
Yikes
they're
on
getting
bikes.
tummy troubles because they're nervous.
I think they are.
In his sleep is crazy.
I have another kid that projectile vomited on their Chromebook during the test. I think they are having tummy trouble because they're anxious. I bet a lot of it is also probably kids eating double breakfast, because I know schools really push kids to eat breakfast before the test, but I bet a lot of their parents already pushed them to eat breakfast.
I have one that says, had a kid tell me they were feeling sick, handed them the garbage can, they moved the garbage can and threw up all over their computer and their neighbor.
Not the neighbor.
Were they trying?
I think they were. I think that was actually an attack. This is a good question someone asked. Wait, do you have more throw up ones?
Yes.
Oh my God, keep going.
Back when we still did paper tests, a child threw up on the book and we still had to send it in. Kid threw up on the paper test and we still had to put it in the Ziploc and send it to the state. What is going on in my DMs right now?
All the kids are throwing up.
But, oh my God. Paper test. 8-year-old nervous, puking on paper test. Had to finish taking test on puke paper. This is crazy.
Not finish on the puke paper.
Oh, this isn't the same thing. I had explosive diarrhea on an irregularity report. But I don't know what an irregularity report is.
Oh, an irregularity report is like if something happens in the testing room, you have to write a report of what happened. So like they read an irregularity report and that's how they decide if they're going to cancel the scores or not. So like one year at my old school, I had to do an irregularity report because the fire alarm started blinking. Like it didn't make the noise, but it blinked a couple times. So I had to write an irregularity report about it, but they didn't invalidate the scores. Like they decided it wasn't enough to invalidate them.
Oh my God. Emetophobia warning over.
This goes to show how fucking stupid standardized testing is. At our school on the World History EOC, which is end of course, students only need to get 19 out of 63 questions correct to pass. Why are we even giving this to them?
What percentage is that?
It's like 30-something%, I think.
That
is
not...
just slightly better than your odds just from it being multiple choice. Because I always tell the kids, anytime they earn less than a 25, I'm like, what's going on? Because that shouldn't be statistically possible, even if you were just guessing.
That's a really good point.
It's like you had to get maybe 2 or 3 questions right on top of what you would just get by luck. So you need slightly better than just statistical probability.
What state is that?
They didn't say. I test kids virtually. I've had parents visible on camera take the test and help their kids cheat.
Nuh-uh.
That's so my mom coded. That's so something she would do. So this person had a really good question. They said, do you get paid extra for administering standardized tests? I've never heard of that be the case. And in my current district, actually I think it might be the whole state, we're contractually obligated to. Like it's in our contract that we have to attend the training and we can be called on any day to do it.
It wasn't in our contract, but we had that other duties as assigned, baby.
Yeah.
Which means they can tell you to do anything for free.
Pretty much. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Someone said that when they were a student teacher, the admin tried to make them proctor a standardized test because no one else was available.
I could totally see that. They probably thought they were so clever. They were like, oh, I have the perfect solution.
I went to a tiny school, and when I took my AP Calc exam, the proctor just left the room, and so many people cheated. Standardized tests aren't even standardized. That's crazy. Someone said a bunch of the kids did not actually turn off their phone and an Amber Alert went off and they had to invalidate the whole room.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, this is sad. My lowest reader would cry every time we had an assessment day because she couldn't read it.
Yes, that was my freaking third graders.
She's
Horrible.
trying so hard.
Yes, it's cruel and unusual to make kids take a high-stakes standardized test when they don't have the abilities to access the language. Horrible.
My admin had us wear odometers to make sure we were constantly walking.
No fucking
You are
way.
lying.
That's fucking crazy.
That is insane. If my admin handed me an odometer, I would swallow it in front of them, and I think they know that.
See, one thing about me is that when I feel that there's like something that's unjust or I feel that something's ridiculous enough, something in me like snaps.
Me too. I lose it.
There's no going back. It would be in the parking lot in pieces. I don't know.
And I'm wondering a lot of things. So either they check your odometer after the test, and then do you just get reprimanded because you didn't walk enough? Or what I'm hoping, they have some kind of like master watchboard so they can see what you're currently at.
That's what I was picturing.
So they can like go stare in the window at you if you're not up.
That's crazy.
That's insane. We lost the plot so bad, you guys.
Seriously, that level of like micromanagement is so insulting. Wow. I would pay money though to see a veteran teacher's face when they were handed the odometer.
I need to be in that meeting.
Guys, start FaceTiming us. I'm sick of this.
Someone said they had to test kindergartners on computers for 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, map testing is hell.
I once had a student write their entire essay about how much they hated all the teachers. If flagged in the testing system, the child then had to read the entire paper aloud to all of their teachers and their parents. It was incredibly cruel, and all the claims they made about us were false. The child's essay also threatened the teachers. Admin told us that this essay was a cry for attention, and we were not to tell them that we were angry. I had to go around the circle after the kid openly disrespected me and share that we did in fact like them, and we would work so they could see it the remainder of the year. The child had no consequence aside from testing and validation and the awkward meeting where several adults told them they are loved. So much is happening.
So much is happening all the time.
Like the no consequences and you having to like essentially apologize to them is where I'm drawing the line.
Right?
I'm not even against the no consequences other than the meeting. I'm just against like the turn that meeting took. Like instead of that, it should have been like, how do you think I feel right now? Do you think it was like fun for me to hear that? Is that a kind way to speak to people?
Right.
So this is a lot. My admin has been forcing us to have an extra PLC. I think that's like the group planning, professional learning, whatever. My admin has been forcing us to have an extra PLC for a month, planning for testing and submitting a ton of extra data for crunch time. Our principal gave us all this crap about bell-to-bell instruction every single day, and then in the same breath told us we need to give the kids a break because of how much testing there was, and then told us that they're interrupting the crunch time plans they made us craft for a state mandate test that we didn't meet because they wanted to do it during a contractually barred time. I'm kind of confused about this last part. So like they made them submit crazy detailed data-filled lesson plans, and then they interrupted those lesson plans, like where that's what they were supposed to be doing. They interrupted and changed their schedule last minute. That is my number one education, like just makes me go feral. If you expect my lesson plans before I have a detailed schedule, like what's wrong with you? Like if we're gonna have things going on, like if there's a pep rally and you haven't told us the schedule but my lesson plans are already due, babe, what are we doing?
Yeah, that's annoying. Because it's not like they don't know that shit ahead of time. Like somebody knew that.
Exactly. Okay, I think I understand now. They're saying that they interrupted the lessons because they had to do some kind of training or something for the state, because apparently the admin had told the teachers to do it before when they were like off contract hours and people didn't do it, I guess. So then they had to do it in the middle of when they had crunch time.
But what's the contractually obligated thing?
No, I think they're saying like they had to do some kind of state mandated training, and their admin was like, oh, we're going to have it at 5 p.m. And everyone was like, no. And then they were
they have a union.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet they do. And then they were like, we'll just have to change your schedule to do it during the day instead. So that I guess they were on an adjusted schedule so that they could do the state mandated whatever. An adjusted schedule is like the quickest way to make me angry. I was with my first period for 4 hours today.
The one that we're giving you grief.
We gave each other grief. I think everyone could have done better. Not proud of them. Not proud of myself. You know who I am proud of, since a bunch of them found me on here and have been stalking me? To the one who asked if I was okay, thank you. Thank you.
I love when kids do that.
Because I'm not, and I appreciate you asking.
I love the kids that look at me and say, teacher, are you all right?
She goes, Miss Redacted, are you okay? You don't really seem normal.
Little baby.
Read your submissions.
Okay.
What did the people say to you?
Here we go.
Besides the vomit ones.
Yeah, we already compiled all of those. At my school, a class pet snake got out during testing and hid in the test coordinator's binder. The chances of that seem fake, but I believe you.
No, because like, why was it in that specific binder?
Right? I very much sympathize with this. 8th graders raced to see who could finish first, then yelled first. When I taught kindergarten, and we would give them the map test 3 times a year, and when you finish the map test, you would get like a packet of whatever to sit there and quietly do. of course, you have to have the kids do it 6 at a time because they can't be turned loose on their Chromebooks. So it's a very, very lengthy process. The kids that would fly the fuck through all 41, 42 questions, whatever it was, just so they could sit down and do the packet, just horrible.
Real.
Admin offered me extra money to come proctor on maternity leave 2 weeks after my C-section.
I would have come in the diaper and been like, hello.
100%.
You can make my check out to cash. Thanks.
Oh, I had a student that finished in 20 minutes and they had to stay in the room for 3 more hours.
I've had a lot of kids in that boat. Not 20 minutes, but like, especially for the FSA in Florida, they get a long time. They get like 4 hours. So kids that are quick readers would easily finish in 45 minutes. Where like, I knew they read every question. Like weren't just Christmas treeing it. And just to make them sit there, and they weren't allowed to read and they couldn't have their phones. All I could give them was blank paper and pencils.
What's Christmas treeing it?
Oh, Christmas treeing it? It doesn't really apply anymore because they take them on computers. But it's when on your Scantron, instead of reading the questions, you just draw Christmas trees.
A for creativity. This is like a double whammy. It says, I had to give the map test to my kinders while having 9 extra first and fourth graders in my room because their classrooms didn't have subs. So I had to monitor the test and keep them occupied.
Oh my God.
So 3 grade levels. I can't.
I just wouldn't have done any of that and would have told my admin, oh, there were other ones here. So
like what do you want me to do?
We watched the Magic School Bus and then made bracelets.
Right. I'm so confused by this. Sub lost a student's research and printed random documents on topic that can't be right.
Oh, I think I might know what they mean. So I know some writing tests are 2 days. I have never done one of these, but I've heard of them. The writing test is 2 days and they have like a research time and then like writing time. So maybe like the teachers were supposed to like pass back the same.
So the sub was like, you're writing about penguins. I lost your research. So here I found a bunch of shit about penguins.
Yeah, I think that might be what happened.
Amazing. This one says that a Chromebook caught on fire.
I guarantee the Department of Education of your state was like, did the buttons melt? Because you do have to finish the test on the same device you started it on.
This one says, yearly, the frantic realization that all the kids need headphones we don't have. Yearly.
It's yearly for me. Someone sent me in a very similar one, but about kids who need extended time. Like how every year they fuck up the schedule for them.
I'm sure. Standardized test story. 2 years ago, when masks were required, I heard paper rustling during the test. Kid was eating his scratch paper 1 strip at a time, so it was sticking out of his mouth and getting shorter like a guinea pig eating alfalfa. I mouthed, "What are you doing?" And he shrugged and finished the piece he was on.
He was just having it fruit roll-up style.
Story from the dark ages when we did paper tests in your DM. Oh, it's puke. Okay. Oh no, I gave a student the Heimlich after she began choking on a lemon drop. Test continued. This person had one of your salad bowl kits. It said, a kid brought a salad bowl kit and was eating it during our test today.
Is there a problem? Or it's always the right time for a salad bowl.
First of all, we want Taylor Farms to sponsor us. So a student scribbled all over the test booklet, ripped out pages, all while crying. This person says in all capital letters, anxiety. Ooh, a teacher at my school was making phone calls and on TikTok during testing. Those damn TikTok teachers.
I told you to stop submitting stuff about me to my own podcast. It's really rude.
Oh, I had a 9th grader try to see if the outlets in the lab benches were on by sticking a metal object into the outlet during PSAT testing.
Did you know that this year during PSAT testing, and this year PSAT testing was only online, the entire College Board website went down for a full hour? Because I did, because I lived it.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, you would have thought that the company that makes billions of dollars would have invested into servers that can handle, oh, I don't know, every single kid in America taking the fucking PSAT at one time.
This one wins. Not wins. Loses. It says September 11th happened during standardized testing when I was teaching 3rd grade.
Why were you doing standardized testing in September?
I don't know. This person
Did they make you keep going? I feel like today they would make us keep going.
Yeah. My 4th grade teacher had us sing I Believe I Can Fly before state tests. I think it was your principal that made you sing How to Save a Life with the lyrics printed out.
No, worse. He printed out the lyrics and then played the music video in the auditorium on like the
It was
loudest
him.
speaker I've ever heard in my life.
It was
I
him.
like this one better though, because I actually think I'm going to do that on Monday. Mine take their test on Tuesday, and I'm going to tell them that I'm going to give 100 extra credit classwork grade for anyone that participates. I bet a lot of them will do it. They need it.
This says the school put on a full pep rally for them.
I have heard of this many times.
I think
I have
that's
seen
nice.
this extensively. They have like hype rallies before testing. It's kind of ironic that like you're hyping all the kids up to go sit in a silent room. But I love the spirit you have.
Admin instructed us to help students by telling them what to click.
Mood. Your admin's in it to win it, and I respect them for that.
They said, who watches The Watchmen?
The admin is wearing like a fucking shirt that just has the answers printed on it.
Oh, it's a trench coat over it, so they just...
They open it in front of the kids. It says like A, D, C. Like that's like a bunch of years ago. Teachers got in trouble for cheating. They were writing the answers on the board and just not saying anything. And then like the next year, like all the public schools in Georgia, it was like crazy strict the next year, and there were 2 people in every room.
This one says the school I taught at had 0 time limit, so some kids tested from 9 until 6 p.m. for 50 questions. 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
What child was like, nah? At like 4:15, what kid was like, not yet?
The ones that were throwing up. They were barfing. Oh dear, a student got a bloody nose all over the testing booklet. Oh, a colleague invalidated a whole room of tests by skipping directions and saying, blah, 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 you know what to do.
You could not make me hate her if you tried.
I feel like it's a man.
Because it really does get redundant, especially when I would do the FSA in Florida, because it's a multi-day test. So I'd read the same directions to the same kids every day for like 4 days straight.
Wait a second. I'm missing the beginning of this story, but here's what it says. We were told this student would not go to an alternative school, and she just kept getting suspended. She pulled the fire alarm in the middle of MCAs, then ran outside with police chasing her through the swamp behind school. She was 9 years old. Assault won't get you kicked out of school, but interrupting state testing will.
Jesus.
Oh my God. My second year, one of our special education EAs went into a classroom but came back and told our special education teacher she couldn't go in because there was a sign on the door. We put signs up when we're testing to prevent improprieties from untrained people entering. Our special education teacher said, "Oh, no worries. I'm trained. I can go." He went down to the classroom and used his key to unlock the door and go in. But it wasn't a stop, we are testing sign. It was a come back later, I'm pumping sign.
I knew it.
She was alone in her classroom pumping, and our young male special education teacher walked in. She had enough warning hearing the key to be covered, and he immediately realized his mistake, but we have not let him live it down.
Yeah, you can't.
I would bring that up every day.
Literally. Every faculty meeting, I would be like, hey, remember when you walked in my room when I was pumping my titties? Every PLC. I'd be like, guys, it's been 82 days since someone has walked into the room while I was pumping my titties. If anyone recalls what happened 82 days ago.
He moves to a different school and you call his principal. You're like, hey, put him on the phone real quick. What's the number to his room?
You email him, you're like, happy anniversary.
Oh my God. 2 different people said a Tamagotchi went off. One was a teacher. One was this person. This person was in 4th grade, and she says, I ended up crying and saying that it was my Tamagotchi that needed to be fed and begged her to let me feed it. Needless to say, my Tamagotchi starved, and I will forever use this story with my first year testing kiddos.
I would have fed it for you. I wouldn't have let you feed it, but I would have fed it. I would have called an administrator and been like, I have an emergency. I need you to get this Tamagotchi out of here and fed. Stat.
This child is too distressed to continue this test. We have to help them. Holy shit. Our library admin assistant was made to be a runner, taking kids to the bathroom, covering classrooms when teachers had to return completed tests, even though she was struggling with recovering from a hip replacement and was still limping and walking with a cane. After the first day of testing and nonstop 3 hours of walking kids back and forth to the bathroom, She came back to the library exhausted, tripped, fell, and fractured her skull. She was out on workman's comp for the rest of the school year. We couldn't understand why you would do that to a person still recovering and having mobility issues.
That is insane. Also, if my admin is listening, next time we do testing, I want that job. I'll be good at it.
Told my principal I was pregnant. He was quiet for a moment. Before saying anything else, he looks me dead in the eye and says, "This means you'll be gone for STAR, doesn't it?" He never did say congratulations, despite knowing I'd been going through fertility treatments since, personal days aren't all that personal.
I took a personal day for my birthday, and when my principal signed the paper, he said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, it's my birthday." And he goes, "Oh, so you'll be at the club," and then signed it and handed it to me.
I genuinely think your admin is very special.
They really are. If there's any change in staffing, I'm done. Like, it's over for me.
That's how I was at my old school. I told you, like, if Nancy wasn't the principal, I would have bounced mid-year.
LinkedIn just emailed me and told me that there has been a 6% increase in job openings for history teachers in the last week. So something's happening.
Too bad they don't have the admin that you do.
Exactly.
Fuck all those other schools.
I actually just signed my contract for next year. That was fun. It's the first time I've signed a contract before the school year started.
I love that for you.
So at my old school, on like 2 weeks into school, they would just bring it by your room.
Really?
Yeah, it was really chaotic.
Oh my God. I know a lot of people would sign it and say they were coming back and then wouldn't come back.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
too much of a rule follower for that. I get like really nervous.
I see it both ways because like I think if you can, it's good to like help people plan. But if you don't have a job lined up, like you don't want to give up your spot. So
no, I fully support it. I wish that I wasn't medicated because I'm afraid that I lied by accident. But like when my friends would like ask me, "Is it okay if I do this?" I'd be like, "Hell yeah, girl."
But then as soon as I need to do it, I'm like, I think this was in the Bible specifically about your teacher contract.
Me going to my principal's office like,
I have a secret. I have a secret and I need you to ask.
For you. Yeah.
I know something. Do you want to know it?
Literally. Oh my God.
Thanks for coming to Teacher Quit Talk. I hope that your testing season goes well and is painless and no one vomits.
Or bleeds.
Yeah, both unfortunate.
One less unfortunate than the other. Anyways, bye everyone.
Wait, which one's less unfortunate?
I think the bleeding is not as bad.
I think so too. I think like a small cut is more recoverable than vomiting on the test.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Have a great week,
you.
everybody. We love you.
Bye-bye.
Just as a disclaimer, because I am someone who is actively teaching, everything on this podcast is my personal opinion and does not reflect my district, my state, my employer, my students, or my admin. Everything on this podcast was recorded on personal time, on personal equipment, and is a completely separate endeavor from my school district.